turn now to more politics. The debate hall at Longwood University in Virginia is ready for tonight's vice president's debate between Mike Pence and Tim Kaine. The latest CBS News poll finds only 14% of registered voters say a presidential candidate running mate has a great deal of influence on their vote. But 7 out of 10 voters say they plan to tune in. Our Chip Reid looks at tonight's big event and how other VP debates have affected the presidential vote. Chip, good morning.
Well, good morning. In this election, the vice presidential candidates remain largely unknown to voters. But the controversies involving Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, two of the least liked candidates in history, have both Mike Pence and Tim Kaine playing defense.
Who am I? Why am I here?
Admiral James Stockdale was on a third-party ticket when he stood on the vice presidential debate stage in 1992, and he faced a common challenge.
I'm a B-list Republican celebrity. You know,
For many of you, this is the first time you've even heard my name.
Despite years serving in public office, a new CBS News poll shows a majority of registered voters don't know enough about Mike Pence or Tim Kaine to have an opinion about them. What are you expecting from the vice presidential debate?
You're expecting something probably with more policy, more substance, fewer fireworks than the first presidential debate.
John Sides teaches political science at George Washington University.
Tim Kaine certainly does not want to overshadow Hillary Clinton, even if he could. And on the other side, I just don't think there's anybody that could overshadow Donald Trump as their vice presidential nominee.
This is serious business.
Then Vice President George H.W. Bush tried to show he was ready to be commander-in-chief during the 1984 VP debate.
Let me help you with the difference, Ms. Ferraro, between Iran and the embassy in Lebanon.
But Democratic Congresswoman Geraldine Ferraro turned it against him.
I almost resent, Vice President Bush, your patronizing attitude that you have to teach me about foreign policy.
What's your favorite moment in vice presidential debate?
I don't think there's any more famous moment than Lloyd Benson's famous line that he lobbed at Dan Quayle in 1988.
I have as much experience in the Congress as Jack Kennedy did when he sought the presidency.
Senator, I served with Jack Kennedy. I knew Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy was a friend of mine. Senator, you're no Jack Kennedy.
Benson just devastated Dan Quayle, but Dan Quayle became vice president.
No, that's a good example of the ways in which presidential election outcomes hinge on many other factors than what the running mates themselves say to each other.
Pence and Kaine were both safe picks for their candidates. Both men have served as governor and have emphasized their ability to step in and serve if needed. Throughout U.S. history, 9 vice presidents have moved into the Oval Office due to the death or resignation of a president. Nora?
All right, Chip, thank you. It's always interesting to watch these vice presidential debates. Yes. And these are two men who both had a lifelong career in politics. So they'll be very skilled. And people don't know. So I think there's a lot to watch for tonight.
So you're saying they're both skilled?
Yeah,
they both bring something to the table.
They both bring a lot to the table, certainly. Yeah. And a reminder, our live coverage of tonight's vice presidential debate begins at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, right here on CBS. Elaine Quijano of our streaming network, CBSN, is moderating.